Hi, good morning, and welcome to our next lesson, which is the planning practices. So, on our previous lesson, we had our communication practices, which obviously deals with the different tips on how you communicate with either your client or your group mates. So, on this lesson, we will try to cite 10 different planning practices. These are best practices when it comes to planning planning a team or planning a software development team. Okay, planning. So ano ba yung sinasabi nating plano or pagpaplano? Paano ba tayo magplano? So I want you to pause this video, and try to have a couple of minutes at pag-isipan ninyo, paano nga ba ako magplano? So I want you to pause this video muna. Okay, pause it. Okay, then, i-compare natin yung mga dinesign ninyo na kung paano kayo magplano doon sa mga planning practices na meron tayo dito. I don't want you to cheat. I don't want you to cheat. So gusto ko talagang mag focus at ilagay nyo kung ano talaga yung inyong mga ginawa pagpaplano ng capstone project. Then mamaya, as we go along with our lesson, makikita natin kung yung mga planning activities that you have on your notes is the same as with what we have in our lecture. Okay, so what do we mean by plan? So a plan is a set of actions that have been thought of as a way to do or to achieve something. A plan also is something that a person intends to do. So ito yung mga aksyon na gagawin natin. Listahan ng aksyon na gagawin natin. So ang plano, hindi lang yan iisa. Maaaring pag hindi nangyari yung unang plano, anong gagawin natin? So set of activities yan or set of action. Na ang dulo, ang dulo ng plano natin is yung ma-achieve yung ating hinahanap or makuha yung ating kailangang makuha. So there are different, sabi dito, a detailed agreement. So bakit tinawag siya na agreement? Kasi ang plano ay hindi pwede, lalo na sa software development, a plan should be decided by the group or the team. Hindi pwedeng ang nag-decide lang ay iisang tao. Kaya nga kayo grupo. Kailangan ito yung napagkasunduan ninyong lahat. Okay, that is based from Merriam-Webster. Okay. So, ano ba yung mga planning practices? So, number one sa planning principles or planning practices is understand the scope of the project. So, before you design a plan, dapat nakapag-communicate na tayo dun sa ating stakeholders. Kani-kanino ngayon sa ating mga client, sa client ng client natin at sa iba pang involved doon sa yung iba pang maapektuhan once the system has been implemented. Kailangan maintindihan natin gaano ba kalawak yung system na gagawin natin. Ano-ano ba yung scope ng project? Ano-ano ba yung cover? Yung kayang gawin ng system natin. Lahat yan kasama sa plano. So, if we will put this in software engineering, dapat, or sa software development, dapat alam natin yung mga features ng system natin. Kasi kailangan nila mabilis maghanap ng record. So, definitely, dapat may search engine. So, that's number one scope, may search engine. So, ano yung search criteria na gagamitin natin? Pangalan lang ba? Apelido lang ba? Edad lang ba? O dapat lahat siya nagmamatch? So, ano pa? Dapat nakakapag-print. Dapat nakakapag-add ng record and so on and so forth. So, kailangan din, is the system capable of printing? O kailangan ba nakakapag-print? Kailangan ba yung system naka-network or hindi? So, yung lahat ng yan is based dito sa number one planning practices or number one planning principle, which is understand the scope of the project. Number two, in planning principles or planning practices is involve the customer in planning. Why do we need to involve the customer in planning? Okay, so we have to involve the customer in planning simply because or or yung client natin ha, client, we are referring to our client as our customer, the one who asked us to do the system or to where the system is intended to. So again, so we have to involve the customer or the client simply because they are the ones who will use the system. Kailangan kasama sila sa plano so that the flow of the transaction of their office is also the same as with the flow of the system that we are designing. So, kailangan pareho sila. Or kung hindi man pareho, at least yung mga major functions ng kanilang office ay mai-digitize natin or mai-convert natin into system. So, doon pa lang, sa pagpaplano pa lang, we can already get the needs of our client, 'di ba? Usually, I mean, it is not usually, pero if you can recall during your data gathering days, ma'am, paano po ba kayo, yung client niyo, di ba, tinatanong nyo, ma'am, paano po ba kayo makipag-transact or paano po ba magsimula ang transaction dito sa office ninyo? So, saka sila magdi-discuss or saka sila nag-discuss. So, ganun, kailangan kasama sila in planning for your project or for your system. Kasi nga, they are the ones who knows everything pertaining to the transaction or pertaining to the flow of their transaction. So, kaya nga, number two, involve the customer in planning. Okay, number three. Number three in planning practices or planning principle is recognize that planning is iterative. Things will change. So, ano ba ibig sabihin ng recognize that planning is iterative or things will change? In planning, di ba, sabi nga, if your plan A won't work, you should have your plan B. If plan B won't work, you still have or you must have plan C. If plan C won't work, you still have 20 plus more letters to deal with. Kasi nga, ang pagpaplano is iterative or paulit-ulit. Paulit-ulit pero pabago-bago. For example, nagplan tayo. Sabihin natin na, bukas meron tayong interview with a client or bukas meron tayong brainstorming. Eventually, nagkaroon ng bagyo. So, syempre, anong gagawin natin? Nagkabagyo, hindi tayo pwede. So, anong gagawin nyo? So, you have to plan. Every time you will make your own move or your action, kailangan may plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. So, pag hindi nagkaigi sa plan A, you still have plan B. Kaya nga sabi, planning is iterative or paulit-ulit. Iterate. Nag-iterate siya. And nag-iterate pero every time mag-iterate or every time there is an iteration, there are also changes. May changes na nangyayari. So pag hindi nagkaigi dun sa isa, yung padalwa. Pag hindi nagkaigi yung padalwa, patatlo. For example, again, kayo ay may planong overnight. Pag hindi natuloy yung overnight, anong gagawin? So, muna tayo, mag-online muna, magkanya-kanya muna tayo, pero magdamag tayo mag-uusap-usap. O naputo lang internet connection, anong mangyayari? O text-text na lang muna tayo. Naubusan ng load, anong mangyayari? O hanap tayo ng landline. So, lagi kayong may other plans. Do not stick only on one plan. Kasi anything might happen. Anything could happen nang hindi mo inaasahan. Kaya nga, laging tatandaan, may plan A, may plan B, may plan C, at may iba pang letters na pwede nyong gawa ng plano. Okay, number 4. Number 4, estimate based only on what you know. Okay, ano ba ibig sabihin ng estimate only based on what you know? So, ibig sabihin nito, class, di ba you have your communicate or your data gathering. So, you have to design the system based only on what you have gathered or based only on the data that has been presented by your client. Client, excuse me. Do not assume na ay siguro ito yun. Ay siguro ito yun. No. Every details of the system must come from your client. Otherwise, maaaring hindi nila tanggapin yan kasi hindi yan yung inyong napag-usapan. So, you have to make your plan or your design based only on the data that has been given to you by your client. So, ganun yung gagawin natin. So, kung meron man kayong additional features na ilalagay dun sa system, see to it that it has been presented then in front of your client. Hindi pwedeng bigla na lang bubalaga sa client ninyo na, ay, ganyan na pala yung ginawa ninyo. Hindi pwede yan. So, sayang yung oras. Kaya nga, based or estimate based only on what you know. Number 5 in planning principles or planning practices. Consider risk as you define the plan. So, most of the students, most especially pagka nasa capstone stage, ito yung mga hindi man sa hindi nako-consider, pero ito yung parang hindi masyado na pagbibigyan ng tuon, yung risk. So in creating a plan, you have to consider risk. Ano ba yung risk na sinasabi? For example, in software development, minsan nakaset na tayo na by next week, tayo ay halimbawa sabihin natin tayo ay magko-code. Doon natin naayusin yung design, yung code, doon natin sisimulan. Pagdating ng week na yon, biglang nagkaroon sa 3 courses ninyo, nagkaroon ng sabay-sabay na quizzes, recitation, or unit test, or chapter test. Or nagkaroon ng emergency si programmer. So, yun yung sinasabing consider risk. Kaya nga nasa pagpaplano tayo, dapat yung mga risk o yung mga balakid dapat na-foresee din natin. Kagaya nung nangyari before, many years ago, sabi nila, sige next week na natin yan i-test, i-dry run next week. Bigla nagkaroon ng bagyo. I remember parang pag hindi Yolanda, Glenda ata yun. Magpe-pre-oral somewhere in June, July, or August nangyari yon. So, nakulangan ngayon ng oras yung mga estudyante. Bakit? Kasi, nung panahong yun, halos 3 days, 4 days walang kuryente. Wala ngayon silang magawa. Kasi nga, hindi nila na-foresee that thing might happen. Nawala ng ilaw, nagkabagyo, or whatsoever. So, yun yung mga risk. Yun yung mga risk. Kaya nga dapat, pag nagpaplano tayo, tingnan din natin yung risk. Ano bang season ngayon? Season ba ng ulanan at bagyuhan? So, dapat ganun. Nako-consider natin yung mga risk kagaya noon. Halimbawa rin, another risk, hindi naman sa time or sa group management. Halimbawa naman, yung risk in developing the system. Halimbawa, once you develop the system, halimbawa ay dun sa civil registrar, yung sa kinukuhanan natin ng mga birth certificate, death certificate, marriage certificate. So halimbawa, if we will try to digitize the process nung office na yon, ano yung mga risk? Una, marami ang pwedeng mawalan ng trabaho kasi yung mga naghahanap ng record manually sa mga libro, pwede nang wala yun kasi may search engine na tayo. So that's one risk. Employment. Saan natin dadalhin? Or saan kaya bibigyan nyo ng idea yung inyong client ng paano po yun? Mawawalan po sila ng trabaho or paano po yung gagawin nating adjustment para sa kanila. Pangalawang risk, technological acceptance. Gaano ka open yung mga empleyado na gawing computerize yung proseso. Another risk, may budget ba sila? Kasi ine-network yun, magkakaroon sila ng server na bukod pa doon sa kanilang workstation na kaharap nung empleyado. Meron silang isang server na nandun lahat ng records. Tapos lahat ng workstation nakakonect sa server. Do they have the budget? So yun. So maraming risk na dapat i-consider. Habang nagpaplano tayo.
Okay, number 6, be realistic on how much can be done each day by each person. Your teammates are not robot. And aside from capstone project, they also have their other activities. Pwedeng nagtatrabaho sila or working student, pwedeng katulong ng magulang sa tindahan or pag-aalaga ng mga kapatid or pamangkin. So, you have to be realistic on time. Actually, it is not only on time. Be fair enough. Yun lang. Tatandaan ninyo that it is not only the capstone project yung gagawin niya sa buong linggo. So, kailangan lang ay marunong tayo ng time management. So, for example, you have 1 week. How much time is devoted for you guys yung para sa capstone project? Halimbawa, ah, kung Monday bukas, halimbawa, or Tuesday bukas, until Wednesday, ano yung output na dapat meron yung grupo? So you should have your timeline that every activity, every achievement must be discussed to your group mates. At pag-assign din ng activities or assignment, see to it that you have fair time with each other. I mean, your tester should work how many hours a day? Your programmer should work how many hours a day or how many days a week? So, kailangan naka-define sa plano natin kung gaano ba karami or katagal magtatrabaho or magde-devote ang isang member ninyo doon sa capstone project ninyo. Or else, pag hindi nasunod yun, magiging late yung mga succeeding activities natin. Kaya nga sabi, be realistic. Kailangan realistic. Hindi pwedeng dapat ito maghapong ito, matapos mo yan. Paano kung may iba pa siyang sets of activities na nakadevote on that time? So, kailangan realistic tayo. Pag-uusapan niya ng grupo, lahat face to face, pag-uusapan kung gaano or ano-anong activities ang kayang tapusin per day, per person, or per group member.
Okay. Number 7, adjust the granularity as you define the plan. So when you say adjust the granularity, this means that you can be specific on your plan or you can be in generalize. So it is up to you if you want to be as detailed as you can provide a detailed plan or pwede rin namang hindi. It is up to you guys. Pero as much as possible, if you are designing a plan, it should be detailed. It should be detailed. Para wala tayong malimutan. For number 8, define how you intend to ensure the quality. So, paano ba natin may ensure yung quality ng ating plano or quality ng ating system na ipopropose? So, ma-assure natin or may ensure natin yung quality if we have defined how are we going to test the system. So, syempre, quality is measured by means of yung successful test that we can do in the system. So, ayun. So, you have to have a detailed tests. So, yung mga tests na yan ay mapapag-usapan natin sa mga susunod pang lesson. So kung ano-ano yung mga test na dapat meron tayo or dapat i-apply sa isang system. Number 9, describe how you intend to accommodate change. So in system development or software development class, it is normal to have change or to have changes in design or in the flow. Pero it is important that there should be a limit. Hindi kasi pwede na all throughout the development of the system, may mga changes pa rin ginagawa. In real life, if the system is if the system development is good for 6 months, yung ika-last month niyan ay intended for change. I mean, yung last 2 months ng ating 6 months ay hindi ka na pwedeng mag-accommodate ng changes. Bakit? Kasi itetest mo yan. Ang testing naman ay hindi natatapos in 1 day or in a couple of days. Kasi masyado sa real life, ang testing ay napakahalaga. So you intend test for 2 months. Kaya kung 6 months yan, yung first 4 months ay intended lamang for development. Yung mga changes pwede dyan. Pero yung last 2 months, hindi ka na pwedeng mag-accommodate or tumanggap ng anumang changes sa system. Now, in software development, in academic level, dyan sa level na meron lamang tayo, hanggang kailan tayo pwedeng mag-changes? Hanggang saan? Or hanggang kailan? So, changes can be done dun sa first 2 months of the development. Pero after that, hindi na pwede. Sana. Hindi na pwede. Kaso, ang nagiging practice natin dito, kahit patapos na yung system, may mga changes pa rin. Kasi nga, yung plano ninyo ay hindi naging detailed. Like yung data gathering, kulang-kulang. Ngayon, nung makita ng panel, since yan lang yung pinresent ninyo, nakulangan pa ang panel, so may changes pa rin mangyayari. So sa academic level, changes can be done anytime. Unlike in real life, pagka sa real life, changes can be done lamang on a specific days or on a specific months. Hindi pwedeng all throughout ay may changes. Then last, number 10, track the plan frequently and make adjustments as required. Sabi ko nga po, ilang beses ko na nauulit, always focus on the plan. Always focus on the plan. Huwag tayong lalabas dun sa plano na ginawa natin. Doon lang tayo papasok, doon lang nakafocus yung ating mga gagawin, doon sa mga plano na i-design natin. Kung wala yan sa plano, pwede naman talk it over with your group mates, then i-consider kung pwede siyang isama sa plano. So sabi lamang dito, always track your plan and make adjustments as required. So hanggang dito na lang muna yung lesson natin, din yung susunod na lesson natin. Abangan ninyo, as I have said, magkakaroon tayo ng quiz after nito. So yan, see you guys and keep safe everyone.